All right. You are here because you want to make 2026 the year you put yourself first. And maybe not. Maybe I just popped up in your screen and you're like, what the hell is this guy doing? This webinar is all about the self first time mastery framework. And I promise you, if you sit through it, I'm going to give you some nuggets that you can actually absolutely apply to managing your time, managing yourself, and getting more done. It all starts with the big giant breakdown. And here's nugget number one. So get out your pens and start taking notes here. The idea when we think about time mastery, time management, personal efficiency, all of that stuff, part of the problem is we kind of mix up everything, meaning planning, scheduling, and daily execution. Those are three different buckets. And so that's a super, super key point that's helped me and helped a whole bunch of people that have been through the workshop. So let me just say it slowly. The first thing you want to do is when you sit down to plan, because 2026 is right around the corner, only plan. Don't go jumping into your calendar. Don't go jumping in to start doing things. Just brainstorm, get your ideas out of your head so that you can see them. That's point number two. Make them visible, make them visual. You can use sticky notes. You can use the templates that I got in the thing. And if you want the templates, all you got to do is drop double D in the comments and I'll hook you up with all the magical templates. And then when you sit down to schedule after you've done your planning, then you plug your plan, your big long-term goals, all the things that you've been neglecting, the things you've been hoping to do, the things that you said someday when the conditions are perfectly right, you'll actually do them. Then you put them in the calendar. Why? Because when you go to the commit part, you're committing to yourself, right? You're going to make yourself a priority and you're actually going to make your things happen. Then the third phase or the third bucket is actually execution, doing the damn thing, making the things happen. Now, what's really important is it is a cascading system. You're going to plan, you're going to schedule, and then you're going to execute. People ask all the time, okay, well, which one should I do first? I'm like, it depends, right? I'm kind of a big picture nutcase. So it's very easy for me to get my ideas out of my head and look at the thing. So I don't really need a lot of that. But because my head's always in the clouds, daily execution is a challenge. And so for people like me that, big picture, whimsical daydreamers, the daily execution element may be the place to focus your energy. Now, here's the thing. You're going to get all three, right? Now, if you struggle and your calendar is super congested and packed with all kinds of things, and you got meetings on top of meetings, and you're always running late to the next meeting and apologizing all the time, then maybe scheduling is where you need to focus. And so the key point here is I want you to think about where is it that you struggle the most. If you find yourself always doing things and you're on the hamster wheel and don't really make major progress, maybe it's because of your planning. You're forgetting or skipping the part of picking your head up and looking out into the future as far as you can see to really think through what are the things that you want to learn, what are the investments you want to make in yourself, what is the impact you want to have in the world, and charting that out and then putting it into your calendar and then execution. So the whole system is designed, if I do say so myself, the system is designed to help any and all of us in terms of optimizing and enhancing our ability to plan, schedule, and execute on the daily. And I pinky promise there have been a whole bunch of people that have gone through the thing. You're not the first. There were some other victims that were first, and they're doing pretty good now. So I kind of gave you the overview. Again, plan, commit, execute. Three separate chunks, and I also recommend three different tools, right? If you whatever that needs to look like, but they're dedicated ways of thinking. Our brain functions, and the discipline is to not do all of them at the same time, because then you just kind of get spun up. Now, the self-first time mastery framework, I've said it a bunch of times that it's about time management, right? It's time management for construction. And I got to tell you, I was kind of fibbing. It really is more about self-management, because there's nothing I can do to speed time up. There's nothing I can do to slow time down. I can't buy more. I can't save it. It just continues to happen. Whether I'm sitting on my butt watching Netflix, doom scrolling on TikTok, or I'm delivering a webinar, it doesn't matter. Time continues to tick. So I don't need to waste any energy on managing time. What I need to do is shift my focus and my energy to managing me. And so this whole system is designed to help you, give you the tools and the mental models to become a better manager of you. And I got to give you a warning, like for real, for real. And this one comes straight from Miss Stephanie with Intelligent Construction Opportunities. This is more than just time management. This is about getting honest with yourself. Like for real, amen. I love that Stephanie shared that with me. And so what that means is if you do sign up for the workshop, you're going to feel a little squirmy. You're going to feel a little uncomfortable. You're going to feel maybe a lot called out. And that's okay. No judgment at all, because the whole point of the thing is to contribute to your path so that you can spend more time developing your skills and talents and then sharing them with the world to leave this damn place better than you found it. And so it's going to be uncomfortable. You're not the only person, but it really does force a lot of introspection, because a lot of us give away our time all the time. We don't even think about it. Hey, you got a minute? Yeah, sure. And the time bandits come and they steal 15, 20, 30, 45 minutes of our day. And we end up falling behind because we're being nice to people. And guess what? Ain't nobody being nice back. So again, there is some self-introspection. Be ready for it. Unfortunately, it's not like right now where I'm just the talking head talking at you. The workshop is a bunch of people, 15 people max. We like to keep it tight so that I can answer all the questions and help people walk through and customize and adapt it to kind of their thinking and the way that they operate. Super impactful. We get to learn from everybody that's in the group. And we all feel a little bit uncomfortable, right? And so that's one of the other cool things is in the workshop, people find out like, oh, wow, I thought I was the only one. And I like super duper promise, you're not the only one. We're all struggling and we get to learn and improve together. Now, I've given you the super high overview, right? Plan, commit, execute. I'm going to go a little layer deeper and I want to walk you through the template, the guilt-free future planning. And why do I call it guilt-free future planning? Because what I want you to do, and it's a requirement if you're in the webinar or in the workshop, it is a requirement to be selfish just for that period of time. And think about yourself from the things that you really want, not the obligations, not all the expectations that people put on you, but what you really want, okay? And so, overview. This is the template, right? Guilt-free future planning. We do 3 things when we're doing future planning. We're not scheduling. We're not getting into task execution. We're just brainstorming to get our ideas out of our head. And so there's 3 buckets that I like to recommend people start on. And you can write this down. Like you don't have to buy the thing or like download anything. You can write this down right now. Think about the 3 buckets in terms of one bucket is meaningful connections. When I say meaningful connections, I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about business relationships, my family, that sort of thing. Those are things that I tend to neglect. Maybe you don't, but I do all the time. That's one bucket. Who do I want to build a stronger relationship with, or who have I been neglecting? Another bucket is personal growth. What skills do I want to develop? Do I want to read X amount of books per year? Do I want to learn a new language? Do I want to do some triathlon training, right? What are the things that I want to do that I think in my head, but never really articulate because I don't have the time? Just get them out there, get them on your head. And then the last one is like business and professional growth. What certification do you want to get? Do you want to start like a side hustle? Do you want to be a TikTok superstar like me? Not really, kind of want to be. Anyways, think about the things from in that bucket, like business growth or professional growth. What are some of the things that you want to accomplish, you want to learn, you want to reinforce and develop, and just dump them out of your head. It doesn't matter what order they're in. It doesn't matter how big they are. What's most important is getting them out of your head. And here's why. Because when it's in our head, everything seems ginormous. It's so big and hairy, and they all have the same size, which becomes overwhelming. And it makes us feel like, oh my God, there's no way I can ever do it. I can never accomplish it. And so when we get it out of our head, all of a sudden we can see like, oh, it's really not that big a deal. It's not as heavy as I thought it was. Maybe some of them are, but not all of them. And so now that they're out of our head, what we do in the workshop is we run them through the damn matrix. Why do we do that? Because like I said earlier, all these ideas, wants, aspirations, and goals kind of bang around in our head and create all kinds of confusion. Now that we got them out, we kind of neutralize that. Now we want to give them some weight, right? We want to give them some sort of value. And when we use the damn matrix, what we're doing is we're giving them weight. We're weighting those ideas, those projects, those things that we've been wanting to do but haven't done. We're weighting them based on impact and effort. Why? Because we want to have some freaking impact while we're here in this world, right? Like that's the point. That's why we're here. Impact for my family, for my community, for the industry, for the world at large. And we want everything that has high impact and low effort. That goes in the D box. And that's an important box because that's where momentum comes from. So anything that you believe is going to have very high impact for you or the people you care about, and it's going to be easy, right? It's going to be low effort. You're not going to have to get a lot of resources, training, spend money, all those things. It'll be easy just to kind of get that ball rolling. That goes in the D box. And then there's the A box, the M box, and the N as in Niagara box. And again, we're sorting the task, the ideas based on impact and effort. And so we're having these conversations live on the workshop. You can do it right now, or you can sign up for the workshop and getting clear about what goes where, what makes the most sense. And again, we're just giving them weight. We're not putting them in the calendar yet. After we've given them weight, after we said, okay, these are the things, this is how I want to deploy them. Now we want to get towards commitment. And the next step towards commitment is walking the plank. And so what we do when we're walking the plank is we pick of all of those things, what is the first thing I am going to do? Period. Not, I want to do them all. What is the first thing? And also, what is the first thing I want to get started? Not necessarily finish to completion 100%, but get the ball rolling. Maybe I need to do a little research because I want to do a triathlon and I'm going to need a fancy race bike. I'm going to need to buy a bike, but before I buy the bike, I need to do some research. So that counts, right? I'm just going to get the ball started. Anyways, we walk the plank. We take all of the ideas, goals, aspirations from the damn box. We say, I like to say anything that's high impact and low effort, those are going to go first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Now that we've done that, we have completed future planning. And I hope you're kind of getting like, wow, I could kind of do this at home right now. Yes, you can. Absolutely. 100%. Get it out of your head, give it some kind of weight, and then walk the plank. Prioritize which ones you're going to do first. Now, some people get a little scary, right? They're like, well, Jess, but if I do that, what if my plan changes? Good. Guess what? Adjust it. Because the plan that I'm making right now for the next 3 months or the next year or the next 5 years, that plan is based on all the information and facts and data that I have right now. As I go further into the future, guess what? Conditions are going to change. I'm going to have new information. I'm going to have new data, and it may make sense to reorganize the priority or take some stuff off the list and bring some other stuff onto the list. But again, the key point is making it visual and getting out of your head. Now, some people are like, oh my God, I don't like to think about the future. I can't think that far ahead. I don't even remember what I ate for lunch, and I don't know what I'm having for dinner. I got it. So when you think about long-term or future planning, just think about in terms as far out as you can, because it's relative to all of us. You know, back in the day when I was like an installer out in the field, I couldn't think past Friday. I just knew Friday I was going to get paid and I was going to go blow my check and have fun. And then I was going to be broke and I was going to be eating bologna sandwiches all week. I built the skill to think for a whole week, then 2 weeks, then a month. Now, you know, I'm thinking around 500 or 600 years into the future. My point is, don't get caught up in the idea of future planning, meaning you have to chart out the next 10 years. It's just as far out as you can plan, as far out as you can think. That's it. So for some people, it's a couple of weeks. For some people, it's 3 or 4 months. For some people, it's a year or two, and all are good. But the important point is we're taking our head up out of the sand and we're looking forward to say, what chart do we want to, like, what path do we want to chart? What is the course, the pathway that we want to take? Okay, we're go this direction. Now we got to get back to work and make that thing happen. which then takes us to strategically selfish scheduling. Because here's what happens all the time. Once we get through the planning, right? We get the things out of our head, we give them some weight, we prioritize them one through whatever. The next step is to go and commit and plug them into our calendar. If you use Microsoft Outlook or Google Calendar, or you're a day planner person, doesn't matter. The idea is you're going to go and commit time to do those things. And what always happens is people say, man, I don't have any time. Like, I got a million things going on. I don't have a place for these things. Like, yep, I know. We all have that going on. And so that's why the next phase in the workshop is strategically selfish scheduling, which is all about how do you clear some peas off the plate, get some of that junk off of your schedule so that you can actually start investing in yourself. Now, here's another scary thing where you got to get honest with yourself. Is part of the problem that we're wrestling with out there is our calendars is packed with stuff that we have to do for our job, right? For the commitments that we've made to other human beings. And that's important to follow through and execute on those things. But you know what's typically missing? It's all the commitments that we've made to other people that aren't on the calendar, like exercise, like going to pick up the kids, going to the grocery store, mowing the lawn, washing the truck. Like, all of those other things are commitments too, but they're stuck in our head and they bang around like, oh my God, I got all these things to do. Or we get invited to like a super cool opportunity. It's like, yeah, man, I want to do the thing. It's going to be awesome. And then reality sets in like, oh crap, I'm supposed to go pick up so-and-so and I was supposed to drop this thing off. And now you're not going to be able to make it, which isn't fun. And so the key here when we get into strategic scheduling is get all the stuff that's on your calendar in the next day, the next 3 days, the next 5 days, doesn't matter, and make them visible, write them all down. And then here's where you got to get honest with yourself. Then I want you to write down all the things that aren't on your calendar that you also have to execute and deliver on in the next 1, 3, 5 days, whatever time range is easiest for you. Get that out of your head. And now we can start seeing like, oh, this is why my calendar is so packed up, because there's this stuff that like's really important to me that I want to get done and I'm committed to getting done. And then there's this other garbage that I don't really care about, but I said I was going to do it, so I need to do it. And then we're trying to juggle all those balls. And what do we sacrifice? If you're anything like me, and again, I just want to tell you, I am not calling you out. I am confessing. What do I sacrifice? I sacrifice sleep, I sacrifice nutrition, and I sacrifice exercise. And so, like, for real, if you're the type of person that is struggling, kind of like me, with getting appropriate amount of sleep or getting your exercise in or stuffing your face with delicious, juicy fast food because you don't have time to do something nutritious, you may benefit from this program. You may benefit from the self-first time mastery framework, because this is all about putting ourselves first. And here's the thing about like deprioritizing sleep, fitness, and exercise. And you can tell, I know six-pack guru guy. I got the extra chin. I got a couple inches of insulation around my gut. So I'm talking smack. I'm trying to do better too. But here's the thing. When I neglect my sleep and I neglect my physical exercise and my nutrition, guess what happens? The doctors start spending more time with me and want to give me more things. And so these things are super important. They ain't the only important things. There's other stuff, right? Like investing in ourselves, taking care of our mental wellness, building our skills, volunteering, contributing to our community. All of these types of things bring fulfillment into our life. But because we're overcommitted to all kinds of everything to everybody else, we neglect them. And that ain't okay. That is an unsustainable situation. So that's why we do the strategically selfish scheduling. And so I already said, right, get all the stuff out of our head. We're going to put it out in front of us so we can see them, the stuff that's on our calendar, the stuff that's not on our calendar. And yes, everything, not just your work stuff, your personal stuff too, because it all counts. It all takes time to do. Once we get that out of our head, then you're going to start sliding them over into the firebox. And so the firebox is 4 quadrants again. The whole point of the firebox is for us to identify, what are we going to do first? What needs to be done first? Where do we need to invest focus at? And I'm going to come back to that because that's a really, really important point. What do we need to reduce? Meaning, like, can we automate it? Can we delegate it? Can we make it smaller in some way? And lastly, what do we need to extinguish? Like, stop doing it, outsource the thing, have a conversation. That's what the firebox is intended to do. And so what we're going to be doing at this point in the strategically selfish scheduling element of the workshop is taking all of the commitments that we have that's on our calendar, that's in our head, making them visible, and then we're going to put them in the appropriate box. Now, here's a question that I want you to think about all day, every day for the next, 80 years. There's a lot of folks out there, and I am that guy who is obsessed with production, with productivity, right? Productivity hacks. I got all kinds. I've got my magic time cube, and I got another little roundy timer thing where I can time stuff all the time. I'm always trying to get faster, optimize my situation. But here's what happens. I get faster at some of the things, I optimize them, and then guess what? I find myself doing more crap, like more busy stuff. That's going to happen to you until you know the answer to this question, or maybe more accurately, until you really start examining, what are you optimizing for? What are you putting all this energy you're getting into, like, have more free time, to clear stuff off your calendar? What are you going to backfill that newly found time with? If you don't know that answer, what's going to happen is that time that you carve out from, being super efficient is just going to get filled up with other garbage. I promise you, it will. And so obviously the easy ones are exercise, sleep, and nutrition, right? But you've got your hopes, your aspirations, that calling within you that is like, man, someday I want to be able to do this. Okay, good. That's what you're optimizing for, right? And guess what? You get to pick. And if it changes, guess what? You get to change it, because this is all about you. And so that is phase 2 of the self-first framework. And like I said, we got a workshop coming over. We got a handful of workshops coming up. So you may be thinking like, well, I don't know, is this for me? Do I want it? If this kind of stuff, like getting a better handle, or rather getting a solid system that will help you plan long-term, help you get better at scheduling, like intentionally scheduling for impact and fulfillment, and also help you in daily execution, this may be for you. If you like working with people, working in groups, learning together, asking questions, brainstorming, bouncing ideas back and forth, this is for you, 100%. If you think this will get you closer to your goals, right? Sign up for the bad boy. Now, I know a bunch of you out there are like me. I'm a self-helper, make it happener type of guy. I like to fumble through things. I like to learn things I like to learn things the hard way. And so if you are that type of person, or like my brother, Mike Chili Childs, he says, quit calling me out. Did my wife call you before this? No, she didn't, man. But I'm telling you, bro, like we're all dealing with like neglecting ourselves and not being a good steward of all the beauty that we bring into the world. And the workshop's going to help us with that. Now, back to where I was. If you're a make it happener, you don't really need a lot of guidance, and you just like to make things happen, figure them out on your own, I got something for you. So here we go. This is the daily domination board. And if you're out there in the omniverse and you want to like see what the hell what I'm talking about, because there's some folks here that are on Instagram and you can't see all the images I'm showing, which is, my bad. I didn't prepare enough. But if you're out there, and again, you're a self-starter, you don't need the hand holding, you don't want to put up with people asking questions and stuff, drop double D in the comments. And that will give you all of the templates. It'll give you the Trello template, the daily domination board that I'm going to talk about here in a second. and the strategically self your scheduling template with the firebox and everything, and the guilt-free future planning with the damn matrix, you'll get all of those things and you can start using them right now. You ain't got to wait for the workshop. Drop Double D in the comments. I'll hook you up. I'll make sure you get the link. If you're watching on the YouTube or whatever, I've got the QR code on the screen. Scan the QR code. Of course, I'm going to get your email address and I'm going to send you some emails. That's how you're going to get all the downloadables and stuff. But you can do that right now and like go to town on the thing. Drop, if you got questions about it, DM me or whatever. Now, the daily domination board, this is all about daily execution, right? Like we did a lot of planning, but if all you ever do is plan and you don't make stuff happen, guess what? Weak sauce, you lose credibility, nobody cares. Then we get into the scheduling. Awesome. It's an important skill, especially if you want to progress your career into management and have greater influence in your organization or within your industry. But if you can't make shit happen, guess what? Nobody cares. So we get into daily execution. And if you're familiar with Scrum or personal Kanban, those ideas, those methodologies are baked in. It's just my super simplified way of thinking through it. And so in the daily domination board, what you get your own template. You can change it. You can do whatever you want. I mean, that's another key point here. This whole system is super, super adaptable to your specific way of thinking and your specific needs. Like some people kind of get worried. They're like, man, well, what if I do it a little different? Doesn't matter, man. If it's making things better for you, do it a little different. The tools are not as important as the thinking, right? The tools are just the venue, the method. Actually, they're just the tools that I use to do all of my stuff. And I got a lot of stuff going on, and it's been extremely helpful. And so anyways, let's go back to the daily domination board. So here, the daily domination board, you got 4 columns: to do, doing, done. In the to do column, I created a little card for every, like how to get you set up, what you need to do to create labels, identify your curveballs. I got links to YouTube videos that explain all of those things. Again, maybe I'm doing myself a disservice, but like all the nuts and bolts of this system, you can go to my YouTube channel and just watch all the videos as I go through all of them in super, super detail. Now, if you want like a turbo boost shot, sign up for the workshop, because in the workshop, we will be doing it together. I facilitate the call. I answer questions. I make sure you understand, get all your questions answered, so that when we finish the workshop, you can walk away ready to go conquer the next year. So that is the daily domination board. And that is all about daily execution. So I want to quick summary remind you guys what you can do today, right now, is stop trying to do all 3 at the same time. If you're focused on daily execution, just do what you got to do. When you go to your schedule, build your calendar. Don't start daydreaming about the future. Just what are you going to plan for the next week? And when you get to planning and you want to do some daydreaming and brainstorming, then just do that. Don't worry about the calendar or how many things you can do or when you can or can't. Just get it out of your head. If you just do those 3 things, it'll make a dramatic impact in your efficacy and actually setting a direction that starts building fulfillment into your life. And my brother, Mr. Mike Chili Chow, says, the tools are not as important as the thinking. Amen, 100%. There's several people, Stephanie, Megan, several people that have taken it and they've adapted it to fit them even better. But the thinking was the important part. The tools, they're using different tools. Jordan Latham, he's using an entirely different set of tools because he's a very tactile guy. He likes to write things down and, touch them. I'm a digital guy, so I use digital tools. The tool doesn't matter, man. It's all about the thinking. What is the intended outcome? The intended outcome is that you invest in yourself, you make yourself priority, and you start sharing your gifts and talents to make this world better than you found it. Now, if you're wondering, we got hopeful simplicity. She says, the people made the difference. Yes, sister. And I appreciate you being there. Well, one of the early victims that went through it. The crew is amazing. And we also designed in like some follow-up support to the whole thing, which I'll get to here in a second. Now, who's this for? Yeah, and I've asked people that have been through it, and the answer I get, I love it so much because most of the people say everybody. I'm like, okay, good, I love it. Now, when I think about it, like, man, back in the day when I was a really hungry, ambitious youngling, I was working my butt off and I was burning myself out. And so if you got people on your team that are young and ambitious and man, they're working their tail off, but they're not making the progress they need to make because they may be lacking one of these skills, this is perfect for them, right? And I got this cool little image up here, right? Imagining like climbing the mountain of time, because it is a mountain, it's enormous. And thinking about it in terms of like climbers. If I'm young, ambitious, hardworking, but maybe I don't have the tools or the skill set, the mental models to be very effective, this is perfect for you, right? If you got people on your team that are young and up and comers, they say, man, if I could just give them a little one or two tools, it would help them accelerate. Those are climbers. This is perfect for them. Now, some of us, and I know a bunch of my friends, Hopeful Simplicity, absolutely, Miss Melissa's one, we're Sherpas. So what's a Sherpa? Well, they're the people that carry all the garbage for all the other people that are having fun. And so if you or somebody in your life is carrying the load for the family, for the team, for you already know, I'm not pointing fingers and I ain't calling anybody out. But if you're in that situation where you're carrying the load and you know people that do, this can absolutely help them. How do I know? Because we've had them in previous sessions. Now, if you're like a salty summiter, which I had been at one point in my life, my goal was to become a superintendent. I wanted to be the youngest superintendent at the company and get there faster than anybody did, and I accomplished it. I wanted to have the biggest dang job in terms of millions of dollars of revenue and complete it successfully, and I did. And I got all of these things. I got the 2-3 bedroom, 2-car garage, vacation, all of the stuff. And then I was like, is this it? Is this what I've been working for? Like, this sucks. I had no fulfillment. I accomplished and collected all of the shiny things, but I was not content. I was not fulfilled. What did I need? I needed some of this time mastery framework. And then lastly, some of us are Highlanders, meaning we've gotten to the peak, top of the mountain. We've accomplished all our goals and we're happy with them. But now we want to contribute back. We want to build a legacy. We want to contribute to other people's growth and contribute to other people's path. Guess what? This system will help you as well, because having that kind of impact really benefits from some really big thinking, long-term thinking, and then actualizing that big idea planning down into execution, which is, if you know, like we got some support. Main point is, if you know anybody that falls in these buckets, send them over, man, because I got some fire for them. All right. And of course, here I am bragging, talking about this ultra awesome workshop. Why? Because I love it and because I know it's helping people. But here's some proof. I'm not the only one that loves it. Like, here are some previous victims that have been through it. Miss Megan Shapiro says, the biggest value was the mind shift. It wasn't about the tools, ding, ding. It was about approaching time management differently. Self-management, right? Then my buddy, Mr. Craig, says, I want to get the most out of every day. This workshop gave me the tools to do that. And he's been steady at it, man. He's been tweaking it and adjusting it and making things happen for himself. And then Miss Jennifer Lacey says, it forced me to stop and break things down into smaller components. And when she says forced, it's kind of accurate, because we do it live in the workshop as a group. You got your questions. What are you struggling with? Okay, let's kick it around. And my goal is to make sure everybody walks out of there having gotten the stuff out of their head and having had like some real personal accountability to look at everything and identify where they need to work. So at the end of it, you have an outline, you have a plan, you already have a rep of doing the damn thing. So now you're better equipped to continue going forward. It's not like, some of those workshops and webinars that I've been to where, man, I feel good. I'm hyped. I'm pumped. And then I walk out and real life happens. And guess what? It all goes away. It evaporates into space. It was just exciting and nothing happens. Now, we've built in some important elements so that that doesn't happen, right? Here's another way to think about it. And I think I'm stealing this from Zig Ziglar. Like if you take a shower, guess what? You're not going to be funky, right? You can smell good. You can have, your hair's not going to be all oily anymore. And if you only do that once a month, guess what? You're going to get funky. So you got to shower every day. The reps, the follow-up, the support is what keeps the thing going, right? The conditions or the situation that you want. And so we've built in, it used to just be one workshop kickoff. The workshop is about 4 hours long. And I say about because we have breaks in there because 4 hours is a lot. And if you can't tell, I can talk and talk and talk and talk. It starts with the workshop kickoff, 4 hours online on Teams, and we're sharing and all the things. After the kickoff, then we have the support and accountability calls. And so these are 4 separate calls every other week after the workshop. The first call is focused on the distraction detox. Why? Because we all have some distractions, and I got some tools for that. The second call is focused on measuring performance. Okay, we've been kind of doing this thing for a few weeks now. How are we doing? What are you stuck at? How do we get you unstuck so you can increase your performance? The third call is schedule management, which is really about your calendar. Some tips and tricks on how to better manage your schedule, how to make sure you create space and be fully present at every freaking thing that you absolutely need to be at, which also means there's some things that you might be saying, hey, I ain't going to anymore because you're not fully present. And then lastly, the last call is focused on long-term goals. Right now, we've had several weeks since we did the kickoff and you mapped out your goals. Have you made any progress? Do you need to change them? Do you need some ideas and support to get that momentum and get moving, get that bad boy moving? That's that. And then, and wait, there's more. So you also get the Make It Happeners online community, which is an exclusive online community, very similar to like the Facebook and the LinkedIn, where you could comments and pictures and video and all that stuff. But it's just the people that have been through the workshop that are committed to their personal, professional development and want to have a lasting impact on the world around them. And so we support each other, ask questions, goof off, all of the things. But we all have one shared thing in common in that we're trying to be better individuals to ourselves, better stewards of the gift that we are. So you get that. All of that, again, is designed to help you get to where you want to be. And so here it is. We're rounding the corner. You're like, son of a gun, this dude could talk. Like, what's the point? Tell me when it is, because I want to go. So it's coming up, man. The week between Christmas and New Year's. I picked that time because a lot of us are on vacation and because a lot of us are on vacation, there's not a lot of work going on, right? So Saturday, December 27th, Sunday, December 28th, and Monday, December 29th are when I'm hosting these workshops. You don't have to go to all 3 of them. They're the same thing. So sign up for one, pick one, bring your friends, bring your family, bring some tamales, man. That would be awesome too. Now, if you want that, drop Double D in the comments. Again, I told you, I'll hook you up with the things so you can get all the templates, and you'll have a link to where you can go and sign up for the thing, or get your phone out, take it out and kind of focus it in on that QR code there in the top right-hand corner, snap that QR code, and it'll take you to the landing page where you can secure your seat for the workshop. It is $250 a person, right? It ain't free and it definitely ain't cheap, but it will have impact. And I can say that confidently now because of the over 50 people that have been through it already. It has impacted their life. It has settled things down in their head. It has given them clarity. So I'm not the only psychopath that has gotten value out of the system. It's a system that I've been using forever. I just thought everybody else had their own. My friend said, no, Jess, you need to show that to me. And that's kind of how it was born. So if you want to finally start living your life by your design, not somebody else's design, your design, and you want to leave this world better than you found it, you're my kind of people. Hit the link, give me a DM, drop Double D in the comments, do the QR code like any and all of the above. So you can sign up for this thing, or at the very least, get all the free downloadables so you can start, tinkering around with it and figuring it out. I'd love to hang out with you through the workshops, but if we don't, it's cool, man. Be kind to yourself, be cool, and we'll talk at you next time.